Welcome everybody to our new channel, Fields of Fun, all about the running, owning of our 7-acre smallholding. My name's Rich.
And I'm Ali. And we moved here 2 years ago with our 3 dogs, and I already had a horse and a couple of chickens. And we've progressed into more animals. I thought it'd be a good idea to get some sheep, a couple of sheep to be lawnmowers basically.
It was going to be a nil cost.
Yeah.
Didn't need a tractor, the sheep would eat all the grass, and they just eat grass, and it's really low cost because sheep are cheap.
And I quite like the Valet Black Nose because they look pretty, and I thought, well, that'd be really nice. So a nice
On the pictures.
Pretty sheep. So yeah, found some 6-month-old lambs, a girl called Kaz, and a wether.
And that's where the journey started, wasn't it?
Yes, it is. And as the journey's progressed, we've now got a flock of 16 sheep, a mixture of Valet Blacknose and some Gotlands and some crosses.
Oh, and the weather like today, it's great, isn't it? We can walk into the fields. We've got names for them all. They all come to us.
Yep, they all bar when they see us for food, and it's great in weather like this.
But what have we lived through? We've had snow, we've had really cold to ice temperatures, we've had heavy rain and floods, we've had now currently 3 months without much rain at all, so the grass is not growing for hay, and all the complications that come with weather really. And
they're all challenges, all of them, from heat to water to wind. They're all challenging conditions. And it's not like you can get up in the morning and think, oh, I can't be bothered to go out and see the animals, it's cold and rainy outside. You absolutely have to. You can't just leave them.
No.
And they wouldn't let you either, because as soon as they hear you open the door, they're really, really noisy. So yeah, it's not something for the faint-hearted, as we've learned. It's a complete lifestyle change, you know, and it takes time.
Costs both financially and time, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, and time is, you know, a big factor, because we both work full-time, and our weekends and evenings are completely taken up with doing animal stuff, as you'll find out.
Well, it's not in animals, but it's also the other things. Whether it's the maintenance of the hedges or the fences or trimming. I mean, how often am I out with a strimmer, strimming things or cutting hedges and putting trees back, and the chainsaw comes out? It's all that, but it can't be a chore. It's a decision we've made. It's our life. But if we go right back to those early few months, bright idea, let's have some sheep. Don't have a tractor to cut the field. The grass in the field, so let's just get a few sheep. They can motor around and eat all the grass. And well, it started off when they arrived needing to be sheared, and it went off with a bit of a bump, or I should say one ball.
He's a bit more, yeah.
Oh, here he comes. Look at the state of him. You can't have scared.
He's got a bollock.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I thought he's
ring him up and complain.
Ah.
I thought he's supposed to be. He's been done.
Yeah. He's got a bollock.
Has he?
Ah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Isn't that supposed to do with the elastic band?
That's the problem, because he'll be serving.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're not related, those two, but it means that he could, doesn't it?
And not only that, that is extremely uncomfortable for him. So you're going to have to get the vet. If you're going to keep him, you've got to get the vet out to remove it.
Right.
Oh, bloody hell.
I'll speak to Rose.
Huh?
I'll speak to Rose, the lady I got him from.
So, don't they normally do it with the elastic band or something?
Yeah, but I expect she's missed the bollock.
Yeah.
So it happens when you band their bulls any time from when they're born up to about a week old. It's normally done sort of 3 or 4 days. Clearly both of them went in the rubber band that you put on there, and then they naturally just drop out. Because it wasn't in the band, it hasn't dropped, so it's actually retained inside them. So that's why they have to open them up to get it out. If we'd have left them to be rams, their balls actually hang down underneath.
Yeah,
but
they do.
because the banding was on there and their ball sack has dropped off, the ball actually gets retained up in their
Is that
up
true?
in their tummy.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so
I didn't even know that, and
the little ball sacks that you put the band on, they drop off. So there's nowhere for
right.
the retained testicle to go other than stay inside their belly. So that's why, that's why they have to cut them open to get it.
And it was quite a big job, wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah, it was.
I thought this would be literally 10 minutes and it's done, and not at all, because they've got to put him they can't put him asleep, they had to put him into a very heavily dosed up, so he was just really lethargic. But then, I mean, I was there holding 2 of the legs, the other 2 were strapped up.
It's
I mean, from start to finish, it was over an hour, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But I mean, it was quite, there wasn't lots of blood. It was quite clean, and
I mean,
it came
the
out
testicle
clean.
was, it was
Yeah,
excised, wasn't it? It was
was.
massive.
It
I was
was
like,
big.
oh my God.
It was big, but obviously you can't leave them like it because they can still use them.
It was an experience, one that we weren't planning, from going through the shearing stage to
No,
having
and
an
it's a
operation.
good job that the shearer found it, because
Yeah.
otherwise he'd have been breeding with the young ewe that we'd brought in. So it was a blessing in disguise, really, that he found it.
But the value, this is where it comes. So vets have always been on my hit list of flipping people I don't like, because I just think they just take you for money. And having had dogs for many, many years, the price that you pay for vets bills is just, it's terrible, absolutely terrible. They rob you blind, is my view. Here, they'd come out, the local farm vets is actually 40 minutes away, a
Yeah.
good 40 minutes away.
It's quite difficult to find a farm vet that will take on small holdings. You would think it would be easy, but it's
No.
quite tricky to find one that covers particular areas. So
Yeah.
we didn't really have a choice.
Yeah, so 40 minutes away, and they may have done a round robin, but there's still a long commute here and back. And over an hour, in fact, probably from start to finish, from arriving to leaving in the car, wouldn't have been far short of an hour and a half probably, from door to door with all the setup.
Yeah.
And we got a bill for £170.
Yeah, that was for antibiotics and things afterwards as well. So
Yeah, it
you have
was.
to make sure they don't get infected. So, if you look at what you paid to have a dog castrated or
It'd have been 3, 4, 5 times that.
Yeah.
And you'd have had to take him there.
Yeah,
So
but
so-
there's a reason for that, isn't there? Because if farm vets charge what domestic pets charge, farmers
Wouldn't do it.
be able to afford to get them out, and therefore the animals would suffer.
Yeah.
So,
And it was around this time as well, having just picked up Cloud and Cass, then we had Gary. So Gary,
yes.
the pygmy goat. So a friend of a friend, it was our son's friend, who'd had him in his back garden, not really suitable. Could we have him? And Gary, that was a bit of an experience, wasn't it, having Gary?
It was, because before he could agree to it, he was here in the back of a van.
Yeah, a works van.
And that was it. So having never had experience with goats at all, thought, it'll be easy, we'll just keep him in one particular place.
Oh no, we won't.
No.
Didn't realise how quick they're fast and how well they
Agile.
climb.
They're
and
agile.
yeah, and he was running along five
Yes.
foot high walls, wasn't he, climbing over them?
Yeah, and not only that, he smelt terribly. So
Because he was not.
he was entire. He
Yeah.
hadn't been castrated. So you could smell him as soon as you opened the front door. So the first thing for him was a trip to the vets. We actually took Gary to the vets in the back of the trailer.
Yeah, we did.
And they castrated him at the vets. Again, not expensive.
120, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's
120
It's about £50 cheaper for us to take him there.
Yeah.
So
And that again was with antibiotics. Andy had tetanus as well.
yeah,
So, you know, not hugely expensive, but it worked because after about six weeks, the smell completely went away.
Yeah.
He didn't have that horrible boy smell, as I call it.
yeah.
And it gone, but oh my goodness, no. Goats aren't for me. I'm not a goat person. I'm a sheep person.
And we didn't know. That's all. This is the journey that we've been on. We don't know. It's just evolved from month to month to month. We never planned 2 years ago saying we want to have a flock of sheep in 2 years' time. Not at all.
No.
But we'll tell you how we got to the 16 sheep, because some of that was our own lambing. But before we get there, there's something else I want to talk about.
After having the first 2 sheep settle in, the lady that I got the Valley Black Nose from offered me the mother of the ewe that I'd bought back. So I thought, Guinevere. So I thought, okay then, yeah, that would be quite nice to have the mum back. So yeah, I agreed that I would have her, but I wanted to go down and see her first. So I travelled down to Somerset because she lives not far from my best friend down there. So decided that I'd go and have a look at her, which I did. Apart from while I was there, she had 2 Gotlands, and they're black sheep that you will see in some of the videos. She offered them to me, and I thought, well, that'd be a bit of a difference. I hadn't really discussed it.
One of them's appeared down the side of the Range Rover with its baby, or both babies.
Hadn't really talked about it with Rich, but thought, oh well, sod it. Yeah, let's go for it. So thought, okay, how am I going to get them home? Didn't have the trailer with me, but thought, oh well, the Range Rover boot's big enough.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I know.
Put some straw in there. Phoned Rich on the way home and went, can you get one of the stables made up? Why? Because I've got some visitors coming. I think you'd probably
permanent visitors.
I think you probably guessed by then. So yeah, came back from Somerset with the 2 Gotlands in the boot of the Range Rover, which is okay because they are not horned sheep. I would have been a bit hesitant had they been horned, that whilst driving down the motorway they would have smashed one of the windows, but it was fine. I got them home fine, and they settled in. And then subsequently, a few weeks later, I went down to pick Guinevere up, which is Casmina's mum, not in the back of the Range Rover because she has very large horns. Brought her home.
And so the Gotlands they're from the island of Gotland, which is off Sweden. So they're a Swedish breed. Quite rare, I think, in the UK. We've been to quite a few shows and you never see or hear of Gotlands.
You don't, but their wool is good for, predominantly used for felting. So a lot of people who do felting like Gotland wool because it's quite fine and very thready when you pull it out.
That's Fifi. That's one of the Gotlands just there behind me, and this is her 2 lambs actually, Morg here, who is horned, and Mindy. And then obviously we had the Valley Black Nose. Again, they're a Swiss alpine type of sheep. Alpine sheep that don't like getting wet or don't like getting cold, apparently, so they spend all the time, if it's ever wet, in the back of the barn. And although we love them, we bought them just because they look like teddy bears. It is true that the vets, as soon as she rolls her eyes as soon as we tell her it's one of the Valleys, because they're just quite problematic, and they're not the easiest sheep to keep, are they?
No, they're not. And obviously the farm vets are used to working with farmers who've got 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 sheep, easy care sheep probably. So you know, the Valley Black Nose are a bit of a pet type thing, which the farm vets aren't really used to dealing with, and they don't like them because they are so problematic. And you know, I went into it a bit blindly because I went on looks and on.
Yeah, we never, because we never wanted a flipping really detailed plan, and this was all about just as it comes. What do we feel is right, and we just do it. Do you know what? I don't regret anything we've done. Sometimes we've made spontaneous decisions And some have been right, some have not been quite so right, but it's a journey. You love it for the highs and lows.
It's a learning journey, and every day is a learning day. You know, when you've got sheep, and 9 times out of 10, one of them is always hobbling around. It's a learning journey of how to deal with their illnesses, and
they're terrible, aren't they? So I mean, the naivety was, we'll have sheep. They just eat grass. Leave them in the field. They'll keep the field down. Saves me having to cut it, and easy peasy. And it costs nothing because grass is free, of which we've got plenty. How wrong could you possibly be? I mean, sheep, they almost feel like their number one objective in the day is try to get injured, hurt, some ungodly disease. I mean, we went on a course with the vets only 10 days ago where we were talking about mites and lice and ticks and basically every type of creepy crawly that can get onto sheep. And
fly strike, maggot.
Fly strike's the favourite, isn't it? And it's just, yeah. But we then had a cunning plan, didn't we? We wanted to also experience lambing.
We needed a tup. So we ended up with a Valley Black Nose. He is not registered and was quite young, so he was the same age as the 2 that we first brought in, and unproven, so he'd never bred before, but thought, okay, well, let's give it a go.
Yeah.
Never experienced owning a tup before, didn't know what to think.
They're very, very different to the ewes or and the wethers actually, in regard to a bit bolshy, can be a bit of a at times. Quite aggressive kind of. Yeah, he's all right 1 minute, then suddenly he'll turn on you and flipping his headbutts you. But anyway, he needed to do what he needed to do, and bought him the strap with the chalk block and stuff on his chest.
Rattle, so
yeah.
Thought we'd rattle him so we could at least have some idea of whether he'd done his job or not, and actually it worked quite well.
It did. And then they got him scanned, and that was interesting because, again, first time we've ever scanned sheep, and the mobile guy came, and he was a North Welsh farmer by trade and just tours for 2 or 3 months of the year, and then he goes for 2 or 3 months of the year into New Zealand. All expenses paid apparently, because they can't get enough people to scan the ewes out there. He apologised because there's always, whether it's scanning, whether it's sheep shearing, there's a one-off charge just to get here, and then it's only relatively low cost per sheep. But obviously, when you've only got 5 ewes and you haven't got 500, it's the economies of scale is not great. But we ended up with four twins and a single.
Yeah.
Out of the 5 ewes, which was pretty good. And again, the comical scenario of trying to get valets with the girls' horns that really go out pretty much horizontally from their head up the ramp that's like that narrow. It was comical, and he just said, just get all the tails and just shove them up there. And it's moving from pets like dogs and cats, etc., to livestock. And when we spoke to the person that scans it, when we spoke to the sheep shearer, they don't really get what we're doing, because we're not doing it for farming, we're not doing it for profit, we're not selling them. But we're
not eating them.
We're not. And we'd never really. It was a subject I touched on a few times, but we never had a plan, did we, with the lambing? It was just, shall we lamb? Yes. And what an experience it was. But expensive, both in time, because it's very, very time consuming, and we were fatigued because you're sort of doing every 2 hours checking on the ewes when you know their due date is. And the due dates were really accurate from the scanning. That's one thing we found. Yeah. But I also got...
That was from the rattling, not from the scanning. They can't tell how far gone they are from the scan, but you write down the dates that you
that's
see
right.
the colour of the rattle
that's right.
and the ewes back.
Yeah, that's right. And I think it's fair to say that I got a bit annoyed, didn't I, at one stage, sort of 3-4 weeks before the first ewe was due. We'd been on a lambing course at the vets, which is all part of a. Was that nil cost or not? Do we have to pay for that? I can't remember. Because you're in some sort of club, aren't you?
But with my farm vets, they do hold a smallholders club, which you pay for monthly, but it's really good because it gives you
Free classes, isn't it?
Yeah, free classes and access to the vets and things, so it's worth the money.
And they do a check every
Yeah,
year,
they
don't
do.
they? And you've got a WhatsApp group for support and all this.
Yeah.
So it's pretty well catered for the smallholders.
Yeah.
But we'd done the lambing course, and it was quite a lot practical, using some dead lambs for actually retrieving me out of a sort of a mock-up of a ewe. And then we practiced tubing, and we practiced ring banding. But I mean, that was piece of cake on a dead lamb. Trying to do it on a live one proved, we'll go into that on the next video, far more problematic. But I got a bit annoyed because, again, naively, lambing, right, okay, well, you don't need much, do you? Well, the list was just ridiculous, wasn't it? The stuff we had to have. I mean, it was probably an A4 piece of paper, and when you're buying it in small volumes for 5 ewes, everything, even, what's the milk? I don't even know what the milk was called. Colostrum. And things like that. It's just, even buying it in small, you don't get any economies of scale. So it cost us a lot, didn't it? And then the time when the due, we were doing sort of, you were doing a 10 o'clock check, I was doing a midnight check and going to bed, Ali was doing 2, I was doing 4, I was doing 6, and we were doing that during the night. So you're getting maximum 3.5 hours of sleep when we're both working full time. And we were most nervous about the birthing side, but actually a lot of it came to the aftercare was really tricky, especially with the valets. They were not the best mums at all. In fact, in both of the full valets, just almost didn't really want to know. Whereas the Gotlands, they were just brilliant. They were smack on every time, weren't they?
They were brilliant. Yeah.
They were really, really good.
Yeah.
And as part of the preparation for lambing, we obviously needed sheep hurdles, fencing, and Ali had made the fatal mistake of leaving me to flip and sort that out, and I'd gone off to a local agricultural auction house with a whole list of stuff I needed to get. And I phoned Ali and said, Ali, I've got some crackers. The light new, the red, they're not the silver, stainless silver. The red ones came back 4, perfect for the lambing in the back of the barn. And as soon as I pulled the first one out, you were like, you bloody idiot. Because
they're calving hurdles because the gaps are so wide that the lambs can just jump straight through.
And that's what happened. So as it happens, they are, well, now the lambs have got bigger, they can't quite fit through now, but for the first 3 months they were just jumping through in and out. That did help.
It did help when it came to
feeding with the lamb creep, because we could put the lamb creep inside these. The ewes can't get through, the lambs could jump through, so they ended up being useful.
Fairly useful, yeah.
Very useful, but it wasn't exactly as I'd planned, and we ended up getting some more anyway. But the whole lambing was a roller coaster, really.
It was a roller coaster, and it was mixed emotions from being tired, but then the jubilation of helping a ewe in the lambing and bringing new life into the world.
Go on, go. Oh, there we go. Good girl. there you go. Okay. Make sure its airways are clear.
But with livestock, you have to come to terms with the fact that you're always going to have dead stock. And unfortunately, we had 9 lambs due. We lost 2, one after 12 hours and one after a couple of days.
And that one after 12 hours, we knew straight away it was struggling, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was really struggling in it. It would have been a miracle if he'd have pulled through. We don't know why
No.
it happened, and
No.
you can send them off for postmortems and things, but I mean,
But what's the point?
What's
No.
the point? They're gone.
Yeah.
And the one after 2 days was a bit upsetting because didn't seem to have anything wrong, although I think she did have a bit of a rattle on her chest, which I think might have been pneumonia, which if it happened again now, I would recognise and I'd be able to perhaps do something about it. So it is a whole learning curve, and mistakes are made. I'm not saying, you know, they died because of a mistake. I think they would have gone anyway.
We don't.
But
Yeah, we don't know, do we? But
No.
it's all part of lambing. What an experience we've
Yeah,
both
and
had.
there are things that I would do differently now, having been through the experience. Of course they are.
Yeah.
It's all part of your learning curve. But you know, the emotional side of it, you're sad, but then you look in the next pen and you see a ewe with 2 wonderful lambs that, you know, are just little balls of fluff and, yep, feeding.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of, it helps. You know, it's sad that we lost 2, but actually we had 7 really healthy lambs.
So there we go. Look, we don't want to make, this is going to be quite a long first video anyway. I'm going to make them relatively longer. But that's it for first episode. We both love you to come on the journey with us. We're going to do filming as we go now, really, week by week, month by month, on the journey. We needed to really get settled in for these first 2 years and decide whether this is something we're going to do. And you can come with us on this journey. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it and you don't want to miss the next episode, please give me a thumbs up, please subscribe, and it's goodbye from me.
And bye from me.